the last thing I've expected was to see Mike bare-assed on Netflix.
Well, I guess you get what you pay for with Netflix.
We got all that, full moon view, as I'm sitting under a full moon. We were building off of nostalgia and hype, and Mike was pretty much giving us blue balls without sealing the deal and sucking the dick. Just teasing us and not being able to deliver, sniffed at our asshole without eating the ass, basically, as I take another bite to my torta. So, I'm doing this directly after like about half an hour or so, maybe an hour or so removed from the Jake Paul Mike Tyson fight on Netflix, which, to no one's surprise, a lot of people were bitching about not being able to see it one way or the other. Some people were too cheap, and I'm sorry to say this, not like I'm rich and I get inflation, but some people were straight up too cheap to just get a free trial or pay for 1 month of Netflix to get the fight for free and live. And also there were the other people that are unfortunate. I didn't have that problem. I was lucky. As soon as I, put on the app in time for the fight, I streamed, no issues, no lag, no drops, no freezing after he said vicious win and freeze frame on his ass cheeks, which is the last thing I've expected to see from Mike Tyson is his bare ass ever. I don't think he's ever done a photo shoot, a video of any sorts. I don't think so. But now we can check that off the list too, as far as a 58-year-old getting back into the ring, a living legend of the sport, still going out with someone half his age and going the distance. I mean, can I really spoil a live event like that? It wasn't a movie or nothing. This is real life shit. And real life shit has you down in the dumps. Like, I'm probably going to be after this one because it's been a while since I had this. But I got me, in this case for FAT-urdays, a torta, which is a Mexican sandwich, a specialty. In this case, I got chorizo. God forbid you ask for a Spanish man for some sausage, meat in your sandwich, and without him looking at you funny. But this little concoction, it's chorizo, avocado, I think some beans in there too. I forgot to say no beans because I don't like beans. It make it too much. Believe me, firsthand I know. Did I say tomatoes already? Probably some other shit, and I think mayo and spicy, something. So yeah, we're gonna take a bite into this.
Yeah, nice and spicy. And this is now, after doing research, considered a mukbang what I do here on FAT-urdays, because I am broadcasting, I am talking to you out there, watching and listening, thank you, while I eat, in the process of eating, in the middle of eating. So this is the perfect excuse to have a podcast where you can talk with your mouth full. Now, my feelings about the fight, by no way, shape, or form. And am I a professional or an expert in boxing whatsoever? I don't know shit like that. But I was old enough to appreciate Mike Tyson in his prime. Just like most of you were out there, I was excited to see him primarily get into the ring and see if he can tap into the Mike Tyson of old, Iron Mike, in this case, and really put the beatings on Jake Paul, which till now, yes, he's had 10 victories as a professional, so nothing in comparison to Mike's whole career. Well, he's been in his prime, he did the stint, he came back every so often, on and off. There's no beating Father Time, and that was proof positive in the final main event fight of the night, to Jake Paul versus Mike Tyson, obviously. Which, by the way, Iron Mike Tyson, as much as I'm not a broadcaster or a professional at this, even though I do have an associate's degree in media studies, shout out to LaGuardia Community College for that, Iron Mike Tyson is something I'm able to say, maybe not with the greatest ease or with the fluidity of someone who has a proper vernacular or no heavy-ass New York accent like I got, but how am I saying that easier and better than Mauro Ranallo, who I like and I'm a fan of? Honestly, I could do it without so many pop culture references, which was way too easy. He just lobs it up. And the thing that bothers me about Mauro, and again, I'm a fan, is when he gets too into his pop culture reference bag from shit that was 10 years old by now, and when he pauses before he drops them, because he makes sure to enunciate every single word while he makes his pop culture reference of that very moment. And you can't go 5 minutes without Mauro doing that to you. Otherwise, seems to be a good guy. Enjoy him either way. I wouldn't mind him doing like one-man commentary, because the commentary throughout the night was Mauro, Rosie Perez, and Roy Jones Jr., which was, different. I wouldn't have never expected that lineup as far as commentary is concerned, especially for a Mike Tyson fight in 2024. Rosie Perez, she be talking like this all the time. Oh my God, he got hit so bad. He got hit with a headbutt. That was pretty much, what you expect to hear from her the whole time. And Roy Jones is the one, with the savvy, with the experience, the in-ring experience to pass along the knowledge of both of them. Surprisingly, Rosie knows a thing or two. Apparently, she does keep tabs on boxing. And she was, of course, as a Puerto Rican from Brooklyn, blindly supporting Amanda Serrano as well in the fight leading up to Jake Paul versus Mike Tyson. Katie Taylor versus Amanda Serrano, which I'm going to say right now as I take another bite. Please remember, this is FAT-urdays. Amanda Serrano and Katie Taylor, fight of the night, easily. A lot of people bitching right now about Amanda Serrano was robbed because Katie Taylor won. You got to give Katie Taylor credit, because she was the Mike Tyson in this fight, even though they only had like a 2-year age difference. Taylor was like 38 and Serrano's 36. Both old for boxing. I'm not saying old for women, but old for boxing already. But kudos on them both for actually putting up a fight, despite the fact that people are saying Serrano was robbed of the victory and that Taylor was very blatantly fighting dirty. A couple of headbutts here and there were deemed accidental, but at a certain point, it was almost like the fucking Holyfield-Tyson fight, where Tyson took a bite out of Holyfield's ear because Holyfield was headbutting so much. And the referee was ignoring that shit. And at some point, the ref did step in and say to Taylor, hey, you're better than this. Stop, fucking around, I guess, whatever. And I guess keeping in mind that Serrano at some point had a massive gash over her eye, it practically looked like the thing was flapping open, or like the chatter mouth, pretty much right underneath her eyebrow. It was nasty. It was a deep cut. It was a very visibly open wound. The fact that she kept on fighting and swinging and missing a lot after getting cut so visibly and brutally like that, she kept on fighting, and that was admirable. So half her face bloody, half the face clean, still going at it, and Taylor's still looking to keep her head close in case she needs to get one more headbutt in to kind of seal the deal. But it went, the whole distance by decision. Katie Taylor won, so what are you going to do about that? I appreciate the fact that post-fight interview, she basically said, I don't give a shit about what people say. If I, stole this one, if I don't deserve it, I'm not here to, crowd please or nothing. I'm here to fight. And she did. She won. I would say, yes, she did fight dirty with the headbutts. I hate seeing that, and I hate that Serrano came in really willing to fight, and she was so chill and accepting of, and even acknowledged after the fucking fight. Hey, she's been known to headbutt. I seen a headbutt, and the only time I've gotten headbutt and cut open like that was with this bitch the last time I fought her. Her trainer stepped in at some point and said, we'll do a third time around, Serrano Taylor, 3, if she promises not to fucking headbutt and fight, dirty, and have a ref that's not so bipartisan or one-sided. I can't really speak on the ref. I still feel like maybe it's me being like, I don't like seeing women get brutalized like that or hit whatsoever, because that gash was nasty over Serrano's eye. So I'm just pretending, of course. If I was a ref, I would have probably stopped the fight seeing that shit. And he looked like he was ready to stop it, not because he didn't want to see Serrano beat Taylor or any sort of, whatever racial undertones, but I think legit, you see a gash on a male or female's eye like that, you're going to be concerned. You're going to be like, are you sure you're good? Can you go on? You're going to be blinded by blood and sweat getting in your eye. And at some point, you might lose too much blood. You can't even fucking do this thing called fighting in front of an audience. You're going to fucking die probably from one bad hit or one more headbutt like that. But easily fight of the night, Taylor Serrano went the distance, worth the while, showed more balls than Paul or Tyson did. Now, the sad part about Tyson, as I continue to bite and enjoy my torta, is that we all went in with that false hope, blind assumption of Tyson means business. He's tapping in the Iron Mike of old. He looks great for 58, which he does, respectably. Got shredded, got cut, got built. You know, the training videos, all the little clips we've seen on Instagram of him just randomly throwing hands with somebody to show off. You know, he still got the hand speed, he still got the coordination and shit. I think that grossly misled us into blindly buying in the mic, actually going into this fight ready to kill. And of course, what was it, yesterday I think, or the day before the fight, there's that little thing that went viral with, I forget her name, but the young girl that does the interviews with, like, she was able to stop Jay-Z in the streets. She was able to get something with someone else, I think, important and big and famous like that. And it was her turn with Mike. And Mike just pretty much ranted to her about how the word or term legacy is bullshit. And it is. He's 100% right as far as what he said. And some people were like, you know, gasp, or how would I phrase this? You know, they were just shocked that he pretty much said all that to unload it on a kid. Again, you have to understand the man was in fight mode. He was really selling us in that, oh God, he's in that killer state of mind. He's ready to fucking go in there, bite if he has to, which he was biting throughout the fucking match on his glove. And he made a joke about like, oh, I got a bite in affliction, whatever. But clearly, I think the problem was he bought so much into his own gimmick of having to tap into that psyche of old Mike, because he knew that's what we wanted to see, and that's what we were expecting and paid our Netflix subscriptions. You know, if you went in person, then good for you, to see that Mike of old. But we were never going to get him because that Mike of old was like 30 years ago in his prime. We're getting 58-year-old, damn near 60-year-old Mike, who again, great shape, seems to be in great condition for his age. Everything comes with an asterisk. Looks great for his age. Can move fast, can, you know, still kind of guide his shit precisely for his age. In comparison to Jake Paul, who, you know, he's no pro, he's no icon yet, I guess, of boxing, or he'll buy his way probably into that, you know, into that tier, that legacy, I guess, you know, the word that Mike Tyson hates so much. He's nowhere near that yet. But now he can claim he beat Mike Tyson, even if it was by decision, and even if it was clearly by an older, run-down, gassed, I'd even dare to say nervous Mike Tyson going into the fight. Not nervous that Jake Paul was going to beat him, or that he'd be able to pull out a knockout on him, but more a nervous Mike Tyson, again, buying too much into his own gimmick and feeling that he's going to fail to deliver. So that's why he had to go in there, you know, Raging Bull mode, that killer mindset, you know, telling the kid basically to fuck off and legacy is bullshit, or, you know, come up with other words, learn other words, you fucking little brat kind of thing. Right, leading to the fight, of course, it's already a meme, so that's how fast the internet works. Vicious win, the little pre-fight interview he had with his son, ending it off with, you know, I'm going to get a vicious win on this kid. Pulls in his kid, his own son, says, I love you too, Dad. And then the camera pans to Mike walking away with his back to us, bare-cheeked, ass out, cheeked up on a Tuesday, however that meme goes. The last thing I've expected was to see Mike bare-assed on Netflix. Well, I guess you get what you pay for with Netflix. We got all that, full moon view, as I'm sitting under a full moon. Of course, ironically right now, we got led into the disappointment of the night, which was the main event, and an overhyped gala. You know, Jake Paul got his money, Jake Paul filled up the stadium, and more importantly for Jake Paul, he got the W over Mike Tyson. Yes, they did say, even if he wins, it's an asterisk, because he's beating the 58-year-old man. That's nowhere near close to what he was in his prime. if it was Mike Tyson of old, if it was Mike Tyson from 10 years ago, 20 years ago, whatever, he'd destroy him. And it looks like throughout the fight, he was trying to pick his spots, Mike Tyson, to go for that one hit. But I think he was riding too much on the pressure he put on himself to deliver that one hit KO, that staggering uppercut. You know, that vicious fucking little combo he'd unload on him in a corner once he traps him and shit. But I guess he was too nervous to pull the trigger, per se, and find that moment and seal the deal, because he had in the back of his mind, I'm going to let all these people down if I don't. Even though he said, I don't give a shit, basically, during the post-match interview with Ariel Helwani. And I can believe that, too. I think that man, because he was biting his goddamn glove so much as they want to say that's a, trait of Mike Tyson in his fights, I'm still going to lean towards that man was scared, nervous about not living up to the legacy he built for himself. Coming back after so long, yes, I know he fought during the pandemic with Roy Jones and shit, but still, this is the one that mattered because no one was there for that fucking fight with Roy Jones. So you got to consider all that, and plus we were building off of nostalgia and hype, and Mike was pretty much giving us blue balls without sealing the deal and sucking the dick. Just teasing us and not being able to deliver, sniffed at our asshole without eating the ass, basically, as I take another bite to my torta. So, of course I was let down. This shit didn't start till midnight. It goes to 8 rounds, 2-minute rounds. Nothing worthwhile. Mike comes out first 2 rounds looking promising, like, oh shit, we might actually get old Mike here. But then by round 3, visibly winded, nervous. Again, I'd even dare to say shook. Just like he's caught up in the moment, like trying to figure out, what the fuck do I do? How do I approach this? Do I attack? But then he's actually, decent at keeping me away at a distance. I can't play him close. What's going to happen? I think he just put too much on himself to under-deliver ultimately in this fight. Fight of the night clearly was Serrano and Taylor. Give it to them all day, every day. I'd love to see a third one, but as the coach for Serrano said, without the headbutts. Maybe, I don't know if they could wear headgear. I think they do that in the Olympics, but something that'll be like, almost like wrestling terms, like we're banning the power bomb. You can't do the pile driver, you lose the match automatically, something like that. Just tell that girl, stop headbutting so much. She's Irish. She's probably used to that in the fucking bars she trained in. I'm kidding, of course. I'm not trying to be racist. But that's what it is, though. One last bite of this thing. End of night. That's FAT-urdays. Just had to get that off my chest. Just had to put that out there, as they say, and let it be known. Yeah, I was let down just like you, if anything, by the fight. And I paid for Netflix. I've been paying for Netflix already, so it didn't cost me a dime at least. At least, let's give it this much, depending on, where you're located and you have access to Netflix. At least you didn't have to pay like $80, $75 for this fucking one night only, one time only event in comparison to pay-per-view, how it used to be back when. If you did, depending on where you're based in geographically, then I'm sorry you had to fucking pay for it, but it's already in the history books. It's a one and done deal, and Mike said he wants to keep on fighting. He might have another fight in him. I don't see it happening. I don't hope it happens in this lifetime. Hang it up. You've done plenty enough already, Mike. You don't need to prove anything else beyond what you've done already in your storied career. You end that now on a blemish. It's almost like, had The Undertaker not had that Boneyard match be his last match, he would have done one more on top of that. Then, would have gone on a nasty low note. That's it for me, though, tonight on FAT-urdays, where, again, I take Saturdays, the one day of the week I afford myself the luxury of being a fat fuck, kick the S out of Saturday, slap a F in front, FAT-urdays, seal the deal, being fat on a Saturday. I'm Who This, at Who This Is One, the tag everywhere, excuse me, YouTube, Twitch, all the socials. I'm on Blue Sky also, at Who This Is One, and or at Who This Is One .bluesky. Some shit, whatever they fucking use. It's kind of confusing. It's new Twitter, basically. So one more thing to fucking have to post on. Appreciate you. Catch you next time, and I'll catch you being a fat fuck on the next FAT-urdays.
Yo, it's over. All right, it's over. It's over. Move the mic. Move the mic.
Thank you.
All right.